let me tell you what's been going on in this building since, yeah? I went to Primark and I went to go and snatch these two frames. I have two of them. These two frames here. This whole building is made of plastic. The other tower, that is the second tower there, that tower has laminate flooring in it, but this one is plastic. No wonder the spirits of the air brought me here to terrorize me, because I grew up in a house, in a flat in Dean Court that was no higher than 3 floors. And I said to myself, in that house in 14 Gargani Walk, I said, I will never come to another flat because flats are impossible. Once you're in a flat, it's impossible to climb up the ranks. That's why this place is for people who are immigrating or living in emergency, or they're here for rape, murder, and whatever crime that they want to commit. People don't live like this anymore. People don't live like this in 2025, right? I was running for my life. And you know how long it takes for admin to go through, for residential estate agencies to put paper through, and make sure that people get their house. It takes a minimum of 2 weeks. This lady kicked me out, and I had to look for the first apartment that I could even barely see in Bradford to come and live here, or go to a housing shelter. And I had brought my two suitcases. I had brought my two suitcases, and all of this was still back in Thamesmead. She had kicked me out. I had to run, get all of my things, collect my things, and move up here. And I've been planning Manchester. Anybody that knows me knows that I've been planning Manchester for a long, long time, right? This building is look at this is a window. This is a window. There's no balcony. There's no normal square window. There's nothing, and there's barely any space. This is the best that I could do in an emergency, because they said move in immediately. They said move in immediately, and I needed an apartment immediately. I had to pay rent in advance. How many people in the UK pay rent in advance? Pay rent in advance, 6 months rent in advance for a flat, let alone for a disgusting temporary flat accommodation like this. This is all plastic kitchen. I grew up with my dad, Oladimeji Akinola. I grew up with my dad. He taught us, at least, even though he was a bad father, he taught us about the build, construction, all of these things that are important. Safety. I'm on the 18th floor and I'm 5'2". This place is big enough for a child who is 3 foot or 2 foot. There's no space for a grown adult here. I'm 35 going on 36. And I have been left alone and isolated, doing everything on my own. And literally alone. Having to call everything alone, having to work, everything I've been doing alone in the weirdest conditions. Because it's not a normal conditions like, okay, I get that she's been alone, but she can get something done. No. The weirdest conditions is that my devices and my laptops as well are not working the same way. Since I left, since 2020, they're not working the same way. Because this is what happens when you neglect a family and you neglect your responsibility. You leave your survival as a human being susceptible to the spirits of the air. That's what you do when you neglect responsibility. And this woman is worse than Val. She's the worst person I want to say the whole country, because so that you understand it, but it's not country. She's the worst type of person on the whole earth. I cannot believe that the earth still has space for people like this that are walking around in existence. So I came here, sorry, I'm trying to catch my breath again so that I can actually say what I need to say. I've been living here, and it's an absolute pigsty. This is a mess. This is a mess. My whole life is a mess. I haven't been able to do anything or get anything done. I haven't been able to live. I haven't been able to work. I've barely been to earn. And Manchester is not even the city for me anyway. Manchester is a worse city because it's still a city. And I should not have been here longer than 6 months. She made me pay rent in advance, and moving is hard. Housing is one of the hardest things, if not the hardest thing in the UK, in this country, in England. And there's no space and there's no time. So I moved in here in June 2024. It's now September 2024. I've missed everything. Everything that's been happening, I've missed it. And I've been living alone, living like this, and traveling by train to Wirral to Wirral, because Wirral is the area that I want to move to. It's like a nicer suburb, a nicer suburb, and a nicer small town. Doing things around, deciding my career, deciding where I'm gonna go next. All of these things keeping me trapped on universal credit again. And I have promised myself at the age of 26, and Maiwa would know, I promised myself at the age of 26 that I would not be on universal credit anymore. Anybody who knows me, Vanessa, Tremaine, bare people are not, Siobhan, bare people are not, I would tell them, Tristan, I'm not going on universal credit again. I'm not being unemployed ever again. From now on, my life is up and up. I want to move here. I want to go Bali. I want to do this and that. My mother is a witch, because the minute any of us get a foot on the ladder of living and life, the whole of humanity will come and pull us and drag us back down. You know why? My mother practiced a lot of witchcraft, and she comes from a strange part of Nigeria, and she comes from no family. Both her parents are dead. They both died at a young age. They both died. My grandmother, they both died at a young age. Her father died even earlier. She has been strange the whole life. If my dad is not around, she turns into an animal. She will do strange things, like she'll be in the kitchen, weeing inside a bucket and doing strange things. There was one time she was washing our knickers in a bucket and not using the washing machine. She's done weird things, digging scalps, digging combs in people's hair. She pisses underneath her bed. She does very strange things. Watching witchcraft videos, sitting down, watching Jerry Springer, being hypnotized, being brainwashed, not being active, not getting up, not doing anything. And she's a mess. And being associated with her attracts mess. It attracts chaos. I remember one time Dami, my cousin, came inside our house and was like, your house is the only room in the house that makes sense. Because it's white, it looks modern, there's wood, it looks modern. But nobody wrestled me, and even my auntie Tayo, wrestled me to the ground and say, are you out of your mind? Why are you still living here? Why are you still in this house? Even my friend Zizi, Zainab, why are you still with your mother? What is it? Why are you still with your mother? Why are you still living in her house? Why are you still living there? What is the problem? I'm sitting there. How many people have been to my house? Tika Hassan, Jonathan from school, Penny. How many people have been to her house and think, why are you still in this bedroom? You are a grown-up, you're an adult. If you need help, social housing, I can help you. See me around in Thamesmead, people that I'm seeing around Thamesmead, they're not thinking, why are you still in this area and you haven't moved on? I'm seeing Kingsley, I'm seeing bare people, I'm seeing Bola and Canary Wolf, and they're not thinking, you seem like you talk a big game, but your life is not together because you're still in your mother's house, and clearly there are issues before we even knew you. Clearly there were issues before we even knew you that are there and that are still festering and fermenting whilst you're trying to build another life, whilst you're trying to build two other lives, because you're trying to build a professional life, and then you're trying to build a family life, a social life, a friend life, and then you're also trying to build this acting career life, this entertainment life. You actually have a history with your parents, Oladimeji and Adepeju, a history that is about abuse and neglect. Abuse, neglect, and craftiness and tricks. And you're living there thinking that, we're all grown now, we've just moved on, and things just move on, and we're just gonna assume like we're any other normal family and things will just be okay. Let me tell you something. When it comes to family trauma and things will not be okay unless you sit down with a professional, sit down and discuss it. Until there is a discussion and intervention, nothing is ever okay. Nothing is ever okay. And it's not religion that Black families need. They need doctors, actual real scientists and physicians and people and separation and social housing, away, a different environment, and away from the city, a city that is full of every international mouth and every international tongue and every class, and everybody's got an opinion, and every person is talking about everybody else, and everybody is trying to make friends, and so they're just agreeing and saying yes and being friends with every person. That's the city. London is the poorest city in the whole, in one of the poorest cities in the whole world. The poorest. You come outside, it's concrete and it's cold. You don't open the window and see sunlight and see greens and pick a fruit and fruit vegetables and feel like the world is endless. No, You live in a country that is cold and chaotic and noisy with bus and train and things like that are normal. When the other countries don't even have such things, they're driving. They have big land, high ceilings that are high. There's a reason to get up and work because you like the sun. You like the sun. You like the feeling of movement, of activity. And here it's chaos. It's pouring down rain. And then there's infighting. I can't find my friends. Because I can't find my friends. And then because I'm not driving, I don't get to see people who are driving. I'm seeing people who take bus. I'm going to secondary school and I'm seeing, instead of me to be walking with Melissa Mogul, I'm seeing Lillian fighting on the bus and people tearing each other down on the bus and talking and chatting shit and eating shalimar and doing stupid things when I'm trying to study, when I'm being in an abusive house and I've got a million different things to do and a million different plans. This is why I hate the city, because it's a mix of everybody. And not everybody's everybody. Not everybody shares the same IQ as you. So you shouldn't be mingling them just because you're both black and you're both Nigerian. You're not the same. And then unlike any other people, and especially unlike anyone like myself, I have to be everything to everybody. I have to be a white corporate worker. I have to be a white princess and be saying, please, and may I, and can I, and not raising my voice, and don't do this, and don't do that, and blah, blah, blah. And at the same time, I have to be everything to every black person, every Jamaican, every Nigerian, and then I have to speak the tongue, and I have to agree with their opinions, and agree with their God, and agree with this and that. And not one person has ever helped me, not one opinion has raised me up and dragged me out of the house, or said anything of realness to me. Like, you need help. You look like an orphan. What's going on? Can I help you? Can I be there for you? Can I come to your house? Can I give you? As I get people asking and wanting from me because I'm a little bit joke and they want jokes. And when I post a funny comedy, that's when I see likes. But if I see anything else, I don't see it. And that might just be my phone. Because I was talking about my devices not working, not being tuned in the way they should be. But I have to be everything to every person. Unlike if I was in a good part of Nigeria, if I was in a good part of Spain, I would feel more at home because I feel that they have Spain have a Mediterranean spirit, which means everybody says good morning. I get buenos dias. When I'm in Spain, buenos dias, you know, everyone is cheery, it's sun, there's fruit, there's oranges on the tree in Seville, in Marbella, there's ocean. There's a feeling of life happening and vigor and being comfortable. But in this country, I don't get that. Everybody's walking on the tube, train, looking down on the floor. I'm surrounded with marketing. I don't see anything useful on public transport. Nothing talking to me about how to go and learn how to drive. No driving, nothing. I don't get anything. People being mean, being stush, fighting. What's this? Looking up and down. Oh, can't you say please? Can't you say move out the way, man? As if getting up and working 9 to 5 is new. Oh, can't you wait until you get on? Can't you? And my parents were so stupid to pick London as a house in the first place. If you knew that you do not have the stamina, if you know that you don't have the stamina to even bring children here and to bring them in a city like London, what are you doing here? Why did you not move to a nice town in Bristol or another town in another part of south of England or Cornwall or somewhere else? Why is it London that you chose? Why do you think that it has to be London that you must live in? Why did you move us here if there's no plan? You didn't even think to get an uncle, get somebody who, we don't have time. Let me get somebody who can come into the house and counsel the house, because what are the kids doing when they're at home? Watching TV and being bored. There's nothing in there. Going all the way down for half an hour to go and walk down Vauxhall High Street, opposite Wyville Primary School. There's a massive Sainsbury's there, and go and get baked beans, and go and get economy bread at 5 years old, and picking up 20p and coming home with nothing in my own pocket and nothing in my own bag. That's a witch. That is a witch. All of us stuck in the house, four of us in that house, a 2-bedroom house, a flat. And going to the park was too much. If we go outside and we start making friends with the neighborhood, my mom starts getting shaky. I don't want you talking to this person. I don't want you going to the house. I don't want you eating the food, because if you eat the food, it means that you're hungry, and that I don't feed you. I don't want you going to Stephanie's house. I don't want you going to Ray Reynolds' house. I don't want you going to Abby's house. I don't want you to go to Toyin's house. I don't want you going to Funke's house. I don't want you going to Shell's house. I don't like you talking. Beating Lola. Lola was beaten. My sister Lola was beaten at 14 years old for having a boyfriend. Lola has been acting strange since because she was fostered. Sometimes she acts very white. And she has this mentality that she thinks that she protects herself, pretending to play this white princess. But she's also an abuser because she is neglectful and neglects her own siblings. She's also a perpetrator because when she wanted to escape, she will set the dogs on her 3 siblings because she wanted to run away. She's also a coward. And this is the person, because my mom knows how to shriek, she feels like she's so convincing. People just believe her because she has that shriekness that she uses. And it's not new. It's not new to Africa. But if you are from Africa, you would know. But because we barely go there, I'm the only one that's been. Lola hasn't gone, Thomas hasn't gone, and Tissy hasn't gone. That shriek that she does, yeah? I remember in Nigeria, there's people like that. And that shriek is shocking to some because they're not really seeing it. They don't really see it. You know, some Africans are very placid. They have big eyeball and they're very placid and they're very agreeable and they're very okay. But when they start seeing that kind of behavior, you know, they just back down and they just agree. My mother is a liar and some people don't like her. I'm convinced that some people did not like her because when my dad separated from her, there was not a lot of people that ran to our house and ran to our help. All of a sudden, I saw this strange lady called or that she calls Oriolebi, some religious fat woman that she likes talking to and relaying all of the problems to this woman. And now she's obsessed with this sacrificial Christian witchcraft religion that she's doing. This semi-religion that she's doing. Listen, the Christmases were dry. All the people that know me from Outbrain, from wherever, Rich Mix, Debenhams, WH Smith, what other places that I've been? All the casting workshops, all the Talawa Theatre, all the theatre, Hamilton Theatre, all these theatre companies, all the people that know me. This is the life that I have been living behind the scenes. This is the life. All the people that know me, all these things. This is what happened. And I will come home and I will stand at the door and I swear it will be like whoosh. My whole brain vanished. By the time I jumped on the bus to the tube, my whole brain will disappear and I will become a character and sit down in my house on a laptop and say, I want to be an actor and go to bed on some wooden haunted bed that I've had since I was like 1 year old, sleeping on the same bed, 25, 24, 26. And there were some days I brought some boys into the house. And I don't know how they even got there, to be honest. They look like they don't even fit in the house. And no one was shaking me thinking, why are you still here in this bed? I don't want to be rude, but you know, sometimes you have to be rude because you have to be critical and point the question. This bed looks old and you're still here. What is it? You are 5'2.5", and this bed is starting to look too small for you. Your house, yeah, fair enough, you painted it white, but it's not a modern home. Do you know how things move? Things move fast. This is not a house anymore. You need to be out of here. And if you need help thinking, if it's the space that is making you sick and making you under this hypnosis spell, putting you under this disgusting hypnosis spell that you are something special because you have a wardrobe and you have a White House and a mirror and a window to take picture and make people believe that you're doing something good on social media. Let me tell you something. I need to grab you, take you out, go to a council, go and get a social housing, go into somebody else's house, go several places and see what real living is like. See how the brother is working. See how the sister is moving with the brother and the family. See how the family moves together. See how they plan together. You see how they factor each other's plans into, and each other's wealth into their planning. Because it's not just a house for me. It's a house for my sister, for my uncle, for my brother, for my cousin, for my neighbor, for my friend. It's a house for somebody from Nigeria. It's house swapping for my friend from the other city so that we can swap houses, so that when I travel, someone is here. That is how they plan when they move. This house is less than a student accommodation. This house is less than a student accommodation. And this is Manchester. So things should be a lot cheaper here. I'm standing on plastic floor. A wooden floor that is plastic, that looks like wood. How sickeningly and unsightly. How sickening and unsightly. Who does that? So this was the life that I was living, delusional and playing games, going into places and having to learn. I had to learn on the job. Most jobs that I had, most professional jobs, I had to learn on the jobs. And the reason why I'm good at learning things on the job was because when I was in school, I got A star and I got straight A's primary schools because I learned a special way to study. Because I couldn't study, I could barely study in my own house. I had to learn in the air and in the library. I had to read information from textbooks in the school in a very short amount of time. And that's how I was able to excel. But by the time I had got to sixth form, I was tired because one disgusting woman could at him, this girl, disgusting girl could at him, bullied me and made my life a living hell in secondary school. I found it impossible now. And with the family going on like this, impossible to do academics. Impossible. Impossible. When I say that we are the worst family in the country, we are the worst family in the country. The worst. So when I got to CTK, I met all these people that I never met before, and they're from different areas, and they seemed like they were embracing their Nigerianness, and they seemed cool. I wanted to be a part of them. I could not pass the first year. I had to leave. I went to Orpington, and the reason why I went to Orpington, because I was left alone to look for another college on my own, and I had to find a college that had the same awarding body with me. I had no career advisor to tell me, you should do a practical course. You should now move on and do a course that you know that you like and that you can do. Don't think about the future. Don't think too much about how am I going to get a job, blah, 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 because you're not in a condition to do that. Now you just need to pass and get yourself to a university. So after Orpington, I went to Greenwich because I failed. No wonder, because I was traveling 2 hours there and 2 hours back by bus. And then I went to Greenwich. That was 20 minutes by bus again. And I built no social life. And then I went to Birmingham City through clearing to go and do drama because I was so desperate to go into university and do any course and finish. I had to come and return. And who paid for themselves to go to Birmingham? And who paid for themselves to come back? It was me. Not in one part was my mother involved or my father involved in my university. And this is the main reason why people come to this country in the first place, was for the uni and bounce. And they use that student loan to do, buy a house abroad and whatever they need to do. That money, that student loan money, is not for eating chips and partying. That money is used to secure your first home. So all the people that think that they know me and that they've seen me and they know Rosemary, this is what I've been dealing with. And I can't find, I was shocked that when I joined Facebook, I couldn't find my primary school friends. And it's because London is unlike any other city. When you move from one area to another, it's like you're moving to another town. So all the people that are local to you are no longer local. They're no longer your friends because you cannot be traveling to see them and you cannot be walking around in your day when you've got responsibilities like schooling and all of that to bring a friend in. Friends are local. Everything should be 10 minutes from your house. Your shop, your corner shop, your supermarket, your friend, your doctor's appointment, your GP, all of these things should be local. And if I'm traveling for a reason. That means you have a friendly attitude, which means you are somebody who is you are accompanying. You enjoy the company, you embrace the company because it's not easy. That's the kind of energy you have. You don't come and sit with somebody in Southwark and have burger and chips and think that you're doing posh life and say, oh, I can't be bothered, man. Oh, this train, and be sitting down with the back. You don't do that. You say, oh, by the way, Rosemary, I'm coming to see you. Do you mind if I bring a friend with me? I'm bringing somebody. I can't meet you at the restaurant. How about you come to my house? How about you come into my house? How about we go here? We do something more local. How about you stay with me? You stay overnight. You stay here with me. Blah, blah. That's what you do. You don't do, I see one friend at a time in a restaurant and spend £50 and think that you're doing some kind of bougie living and bougie life. You don't do that. So this is the life that I've been living, seeing one friend at a time, seeing everybody as individual, and my life is breaking down. And the most important thing that I want people to grasp is that when you come from a poor family, you do not have the luxury of being certain ways or thinking that you can design your life a certain way because it's defense that you need. It's not towards wealth. You need defense. Defense and defense and defense. That means having realistic goals, having realistic, having a realistic, attainable goals that are realistic and plain and boring and dry, and that can stand the test of time. That is what you have if you're so unfortunate to be poor and be born in a country like this. This is not the time to be high flying and doing podcasts and putting it on YouTube and saying that you're going to be a YouTuber because you are so stressed out. Because I understand that you're stressed out and I understand that life is not fair. But this is not the time to think that you can do some lofty goal when you are in your 20s and your 30s and you're still broke. You're still without a home, and your home is the first part of wealth. Ask one of these Oyibo children or one of these white children in England, ask them what they want. I just want a normal job. I want to be a nurse, and I want to have a house and have a husband. That's riches. That's the rich right there. You don't need to have American attitude and be watching American TV and be doing Backchat London and arguing and fighting on YouTube. You don't need to be doing that. You need to do one simple job and have to get yourself your first house, and then that's it. That's basically made it. And then your retirement home and not moving around too much or doing too much. That's all you need to do. You need to plan. You have children, right? I need to plan. Now I need to start planning their life. What's going on? What are they going to do? How are they going to make money? How is it going to be sustainable for them? How is it going to be sustainable? How are they going to be able to take time off work and utilize this and utilize that? How are they going to get free furniture? Any free furniture they can get, free food, all of these things. Back it up, stock it up for 12 months, 18 months. There's food in that house, stock up, so you're not shopping every week, so you're not shopping every weekend. That's how you do it. You sit down, you look at your children, what are you doing? And what do you have? Because this is the deadline that you have this. You don't leave them to the devices as if it's the EastEnders and you think that everybody will be okay because you see people walking around and you assume people are okay. That is the worst lie in the world. What are you doing? Now it comes to responsibility time. Debussy, not Debussy, because that's what she used to call me. Rosemary Akinola. What is it that you're doing? You need to help you do this. Driving is the number one. Find the right qualification, find the right skills, find the right certificate that you'll be employed and employable for the rest of your life. So that wherever you go, whether you stay in the UK or in a city or in a town or in the hills, whether you go from here to Australia or from or the Middle East to Africa, wherever you go, you have a job, you are employed, and you're not out of work for several months. Don't have lofty dreams and be banking on luck and banking on this risky business and say you want to be a millionaire and entrepreneur and blah, blah, blah. Because the reason why you feel that way as well, part of the reason why I feel that way is because I'm Nigerian, and Nigerians are entrepreneurial, they're creative. But it's not creative by painting, it's creative in their mind. They're able to crunch things and think things really well. Someone to sit you down and keep you accountable. There's no one in the house keeping anybody accountable to what is going on. Why are you a parent thinking about retirement at 60 and then you're walking up and down and saying, I'm so happy that my children are in their rooms and I'm safe and sound? Are you mad? Are you mad? I want to see all of my children. I can't wait until all of you have children. Are you mad? Titi sleeping on the sofa. Titi came from Leicester. Came from Leicester University after 3 years in Leicester, living away from the house, to come and sit down and sleep on the sofa for 5 years before she went and moved on her own, sleeping on the sofa and sleeping with a laptop, saying that she needs the laptop to help her sleep. A woman going on 40 now, saying that she can't sleep without the laptop on because of her eyes. You go into her kitchen, there's one biscuit and one tea bag. Look at her body, so skinny and scrawny. No hair, no vigor, no nothing. Everything just depleting and depleting. Lola as well. Go and shave all of her, shave off all of her hair and doing not even teaching anybody how to cook. I haven't seen Fiola cook a pot of stew or eat any pounded yam. Instead, they're baking cake and saying, I like baking. I like baking, and I want to go to Oman because I want my friends I want my children to have some kind of culture. And her husband is all the way in Kent. If you want to have an affair, Say to your sisters, I want to have an affair and leave Rob. If that's what you want to do, don't pretend and lie and leave your siblings to fend for themselves, fight themselves, when you know that we have all been abused. Don't pretend and say, I don't know why you're not doing it. I don't know why. You don't know why. You don't know why. I don't know why. Using shame. I don't know why. Instead of her to grab Titi Lyle, say, Titi, get in this car. Bissy, get in this car. Thomas, get in this car. Today, I've got some time. I want to show you how to drive. I want to show you. Any questions about the car? I want you to talk about, ask me all the questions in the car. All of you behind the wheel, you're going to learn how to do it now. Because when it comes to driving, it's not the test. It's not the driver, the instructor, and the test that you learn to drive. You learn through your family. Everybody in the car. Let's look at the driving. Let's look at the car thing. Put argument aside. Right, a house. Everybody, a house. This needs to be put together. The floors need to be tiled. Things need to be fixed around. This, that, and the other. That's what you do. Instead, it's shame and blame. Asking me for money for her child's investment. Meanwhile, she's in Oman, getting how much she's getting with Arabian currency, and been working since how long in a stable career as a teacher, getting qualified over qualification, and then she has a cheek to turn around to me, who is unemployed, and ask where is money for Fiola's birthday, as if that is the key to wealth. That's the key to the money. Bothering me, I'm going her to places she's not interrogating me and helping me. Instead, it's about her and about Rob and her Fiola. I want my children to have some kind of culture. Where are your friends, Lola? Where are your friends? Where's Bounty? Where's all the friends that knew you? Where are your secondary school friends? Where are your friends from Vauxhall? Because you used to disappear for hours and not come back. Where are your friends from Durham? Where are your friends, Lola? Titi, where's your friends? How come we haven't seen each other's friends? Thomas, where is your friends? The only friend I know is Jamie. Where is the rest of your friends, Thomas? Ola Dimeji, where are your friends? Where are the rest of your friends? How come no one is around? Where is Kyle, Shola, Langre, Papa? Where is all the family in Nigeria, the Akinolas? Why are they not here? Where is the pictures? Where are the photos? Where are the pictures? Where are the photos? Where are the photos? Where is everything? Everything is everybody is what? Hiding and walking around as an individual. Where is the photos? Where are the photos? Where are the pictures? Do you know she went and sold Dean Court? She went and sold Dean Court. This was the house that they beat us in. When I say Marie, Stephanie, Michael, when I say Mr. and Mrs. Wood, when I say all my secondary school friends, when I say this was the house, yeah, that we got beat, there were beatings in this house, yeah, that were so evil and wicked. When I went to CTK and I asked people about this in privately, they said, no, I've never. And I kept my mouth shum. When I say Titi was beaten like from my dad, Lola was beaten. When I say Titi as well, when I say I had to stand up in the corner and lift up my arms. When I say my mum will find reason, I'll come back from primary school, my mum will beat me because of one thing. But one time I went to primary school, I wet myself because I couldn't hold my wee anymore because my mum had beat me the day before. And they had to come and wash my knickers. My mum was standing there next to the washing machine as my knicker was washing. When I say that we used to get beaten, when I say shame so poison that you bury it deep, that you even forget, that causes brain damage and causes amnesia. It causes amnesia. There was some incidents I wrote down in a book. I wrote this down in a book and I put it underneath my bed in 14 Dean Court. And she took that bed. And as they were moving, I know that she threw away that book. She threw away that book as they were moving our bunk beds from 14 Dean Court to Erith. And there's a scar on my head. I want to show everybody the scar. There's a scar on my scalp, right? Not a scar, sorry. A bald spot where my hair no longer grows. Because Peju was obsessed with witchcraft. There was a time that she was obsessed with witchcraft. And she used to dig the comb in the center of my crown. And my crown is tender. First of all, the crown of her head is very, very tender. It's a soft spot and a very soft spot for a child. Because she was convinced that I was wicked. She was convinced that I was wicked because I look like my dad. And I'm a bit too clever. I'm a bit too snappy. It's not because of any science, because you're having a child, because you're having a third child. It's not because your daughter takes from her father's side. So she's a bit more, has a bit more give, more give, or a bit more girth. It's not that. No. It's because I have to be wicked because she wanted the boy. And because I'm not the son that she wanted, I have to be a wicked child. So she started digging and punishing me and digging the comb in my hair. And there was one time it was bleeding and I was crying and I sat down to my bunk bed and I told my dad said, oh, don't worry about it. I'm so sorry. There half the time he must have been deaf. He must have been deaf. And one of the questions that I want to ask him is, why did you get with this woman? And why did you have 4 children? Why did you have children if you don't know what you're doing? If it's money that you want, and it's money that you're after, do children need to be involved in your plan? Do children need to be involved if it's money? Why would you have children and then not be around them and not look after them? What is it? I want to be wealthy. I want to be rich. Listen, if it's trauma that you're also dealing with because because if your father left and did this and did that, whatever with your mother, if it's your own trauma that you're dealing with, why are you birthing children and bringing children into it? If it's bipolar or mental disorder that you have because you're a 35-year-old man beating 5-year-old children, why don't you take yourself there, back to Nigeria, go where you want to go, leave the girl that you don't like, and go and find another life. Don't sit down in the house and have children with her and say you want to be rich and you want to be a millionaire and we're poor beyond poor, eating dry ready salted crisps with ready salted crisps and bread and sweet corn and saying that you want to be a rich man and that you're rich. Don't be deluded. Don't be walking around in these parties and wearing agbada and the like, and walking around and polishing your shoes, saying that you are a man and king. If the children are even your wealth, the children are even your wealth. There's an opportunity here to train for them to be talented, and you're doing nothing, going in and out the house. And this woman is doing nothing with her head a mind like somebody covered in fleas. She's not even a resourceful person who's unemployed. You know people who are unemployed, but they're resourceful. They will go to the shop, they will go and get a whole trolley, put everything in a bag, put things on top. I'm just going to pay for all of this and disappear. No. My mum is the worst kind of person. The worst, because she practices foolery and she likes things that are foolish and dirty. She's attracted to dirty things that are disgusting. If no one is around to judge her, she will not even bath. She will not even bath. You know, it was us, right, that had to teach her. You shower every day. When she came to this country, she would shower once a week. Sometimes she would only shower and wash her bum. I'm just going to wash my bum. You shower every day. Soap is not in short supply. Soap is not in short supply. Water is not in short supply. Shower every day. You get up every day, you brush your teeth, you shower, you put your hair together, you walk outside, you exercise. These things are basic, they're primitive. For Pedro, she will wake up and she will be in her wrapper. And then she'll be lying to her children. Yeah, I showered today. She didn't even want to wash. And we're meant to grow up in the world and compete in the generation, the 90s and the 1990s and the 1980s generation, and compete with these people that are our peers. And at this age, this is when we should be showing people a portfolio of our life and what we've been doing, and have a portfolio of friends and a portfolio of work under our belt, on our hips. And this is the clownery and foolery and sickness and mental illness that I'm around. The mental illness that I was around 24/7. Instead of me to be even laying up with my friends, in my friends' houses, sharing a flat or a room with my friend, I was bathing in the sickness and madness of my mother. It's the madness of my mother and my autistic sister, Titilayo. The madness. And also Thomas, who I also think has autism and issues. This boy He was a wanderer when he was young. From when he was young, he was a wanderer. Wanderer, making weird noises, doing strange things. And then after the accident, he became worse, like aloof, like his mind was never really there. Watching television, watching his laptop, and eating jam sandwiches, not interested in eating any vegetable, no meat, anything that would make a man. Not growing, stunted, because he eats bread and jam, bread and sugar. We had to teach him to eat real food. Not stuttering, not speaking properly, not speaking fluently, not speaking accurately, stuttering and jotting and jumping and walking. And now he's 4 foot, 5 foot, 30 years old, living in small rooms and riding scooters and saying that he's an engineer with no life, not able to wrestle and defend himself, not able to fight and be a man. And he has to go outside and compete with his peers and compete with other men and be a man in the world. And there's time. There's time for I'm not talking to you. I don't talk to you. That autistic I don't talk to you that came from the grave of Laura Trait and the grave of this Lambeth neck roll, look up and down, dirt on the street. This I don't talk to you at this age as well. At this in this environment. This I don't talk to you. That came from Titi as well. I don't talk to you. This non-communication, this mutism, this autistic mutism that you like to practice and that you like to do, not communicating and doing other. When life is on the line, when you are in the emergency room and the bell is beeping, you're doing. I'm not talking to you right now because I'm mad at you right now. Do you know how many people since the beginning of time are able to fight and have arguments? And when the time is critical, they're talking and they're speaking and they're getting their point across and they're going through it. They don't do mutism. I'm not talking to you. I'm not gonna talk to you. Is it? And then when a body is on the ground, yeah, it's very sad. Everything is treated so casually. If I'm fighting somebody, I'm still gonna communicate. If my phone is ringing, I'm still gonna talk. I'm gonna get all of my points across because I want to talk. I'm not talking to you like a mute. That's why like a mute. That's why your sickness. That's part of your sickness that makes the whole house sick. And then she'll be complaining about her skin. She'll be complaining about she's got acne and she's got all of these problems and she's got all of these problems. But because she's autistic, because she has to be autistic, she's not thinking. Let me use my sister. Let me team up with my sister to help me in my life, to help me with these things. Let's go out together. Let's go and get this. Let's go and get that. Let's get together. Let's drive together in a car. Let's do things together. No. She wants to be a witch. She wants to go to school and pretend that she's got friends, talking to Fiona and talking to Lara and Debbie and all these other people and talking to Toyin and talking to all these other people like Jake. And then she wants to come home and stand in the corner like this. She wants to stand in the corner and start looking in the mirror and start cussing me and start cussing. Standing and start cussing and start talking bad about me and start kissing her teeth and start being weird and start being evil and start being arrogant. She wants to play that game. And then when shit hits the fan and the time that now that she needs me and that she needs things, she's already, oh wow, I'm actually a wicked person. I'm actually a wicked fool. I'm a fool. Because I've done all of this and cut off all of these ties and now I need these very same people for my life. That's what fools do. That's what bullies do. When people, this is what bullies play this game. They play this game like they are the biggest fish in the pond. And when shit hits the fan and they need people, nobody wants to help you because everybody knows that you were being wicked. Everybody knows that you are wicked. And now her skin is dry, her body is dry, no sex in her life. She's going on all of these apps looking for men. She's attracting no one. And she's in a house, a studio, by herself, living in a studio with her laptop as her mating friend and saying, I want to find a man, I want to date, I don't know what's going on, I can't find this, everybody seems to be going outside and do so well, Lara got married, all these people are doing this, all these people that, I'm not going to be on social media because I can't do it, I can't do social media, I want to be disappeared, I want to be isolated, I want to be, and all her body and her skin and everything a mess, and she's using one serum and saying that she wants to clear up her skin, when it's the whole life that needs fixing. It's not the skin that needs to be fixed. It's the whole life and your disgusting attitude and your counselling and your medication and your hospital and your doctor appointments, Miss Autistic. Since you want to be evil and be spitting on people as a child. You know, this woman used to do disgusting things. Like she used to drop, she used to do strange things. Like when she was cooking with my mum, she would get the chicken head and leave it on my bed. She would get my toothbrush and say that, oh, I spat in your toothbrush. That's how foolish Titty was. That's why my dad never liked her. I used to beat her. But she's autistic. She's autistic. And then on top of that, the beating and all of that is not helping her. She needs to be sent out of the house away and go and live maybe with another relative in Nigeria, not in a bad way, maybe in a way to kind of understand a bit of Africanism and be away from England, because I don't think it's also helping her. That's how Titty was before. That's how Titty has been. Her head picky and she mean, rude and evil. And I had to deal with that rudeness for years and swallow it and say, because she's my sister, she will grow up. She will grow out of it. She'll grow out of it. We're only 2 years apart. She'll grow out of it. She'll grow out of it. Grow out of it. I will wait for her. And then she even converted to Christianity. I thought, oh, she's going to do some good. She's going to be a good person. She's going to be a good person. She's a user. She's a user. She's a user, and she's waste. Because 1 minute she will be there, but for 1,000 miles, she will disappear, or she will drag me down. Drag me down. And that's been my family. And families like this don't need religion. Let me tell you, religion is for the people who are rich and privileged, okay? Religion is not for people who are poor. Poor people do not need religion. They need practicalism. They don't need hope, because it's hope what gets people dead and get people missing. They don't need hope. Poor people do not need hope. They do not want hope. They want reality. They want the worst thing that can happen. The worst case. Give me the worst. What do you know? What do you think is the worst thing that can happen? They want the worst. They want to be told what could really go wrong here. A boy who was under a car, who had half his leg ripped off, Thomas Akinola. Poor people do not need religion. They want to be told, I need defense and protection, and I need my money secure and wealth. I do not need pat on the back and happy Sunday. I don't need it. I need donation. I need father uncle to sit me down in his counselor room and go through and sit down in his book room, his library, and teach me about this, that. I need support, counseling, mentor, coach. We need to be outside of the church. We need to be in places that are rich, where people have made it. We need to be sitting down, not as people who are trying to appease to a white crowd, doing podcasts and thinking that we know it all. We need to actually get real mentorship, real counseling. Look at law books, real things. Not spending 10,000 years on YouTube looking at advice about investing. Looking at every app that pops up in our feed about how it's going to make us money and earn this and earn that. That's what we need. What's the traditional thing? House, car, friends, family, wife, all of it. And you be agreeable. You handle your business, you be agreeable, and you make sure you have as many people helping you as possible. No, you make sure you help out your family. You give to your family. Not a mother, a rich mother, giving £10,000, 10,000 to her church. Meanwhile, her children are scattered. Scattered. The whole family scattered from top to bottom. But it's churches. It's churches and television churches that she's donating to. It's television churches, everybody. £10,000 she's got. The woman who likes to wee in the kitchen. Wee in the bucket. And then when her kids are waking up, she runs and pulls it into the bathroom and says she's not doing anything. And she's using the same cloth to wipe. And we have to throw the cloth away. Going to DWP and spraying perfume, not having showered, and going to work. But she's got £10,000 to give to a church. That's what I've been dealing with, everybody. That's what I have been dealing with, for real. That's what I've been dealing with. That's my real life right there.